So Hansen's has about 190 assets that we track. Out of those 190 assets, it is broke down between semis, semi-trailers, chipper trucks. Then we get into chippers, stump grinders, skid loaders, and we also have several big horizontal and tub grinders. So our equipment will actually go out into the field on a lane clearing job, and we will grind the material on site, gets loaded into semi-trailers, where it gets brought back to the yard and unloaded. From there, we will take that material and regrind it into different products. We will color it into mulch. We will even go so far as a lot of it we will break down into compost. This company's been around since the 80s. The program that they originally had was more of a mechanics shop type of software. It wasn't a fleet software. Fleetio's kind of the start of the fleet tracking. The owner, now the second generation, really wants to grow and expand the company. Of course, one of the problems in that is knowing cost. And before, he didn't have a cost, and that's where our conversations came into play. And we kind of got into conversation about what does he need to know in order to expand and grow his fleet. I said, well, you know what you spend on each individual piece of equipment? No, they didn't. That's where you got to start. In order to accurately build, to accurately bid jobs, things like that, you have to know what that piece of equipment is going to cost you to run in that environment. And that's where Fleetio is really going to play an integral part in making that happen. Kind of took a poll on a lot of the people around to ask them, what are the biggest struggles that are dealt with? Honestly, the biggest struggle that I heard continuously was communication. So that was one of the key points that I wanted to see in a fleet software. I want something that can communicate both sides quickly. If somebody comes to me, say for instance, they're having an issue with a unit. I've wrote this up several times, the shop won't do anything about it. The shop says, well, we never seen it. I wanted to be able to look and go, okay, either A, it did, or B, it did not happen. The main issue was, be it mechanics, drivers, or operators, and the shop. Getting that communication back and forth. And that's not only the shop knowing what needs to be repaired, but then it goes back around to the division managers and knowing that their equipment had been repaired. A lot of the other programs that I looked at had communication modules, if you will, built into them, but they just didn't quite do what I wanted to do. And I wanted it to be effortless. And that's the nice thing about the Fleetio system, is it is effortless. If you input a comment or something like that into the system, it immediately lets anybody that's watching that know what happened. And that to me is a big thing, because if you try to make the guys do an extra step, it doesn't get done. Initially, right off the bat, of course, I had a lot of pushback. This has always been one of the big things was, oh, well, this guy's going to bring corporate into it, and no, I want to make your job easier. And once I started showing how this system is going to make their job easier, the buy-in from them has been very simple. And now pretty much everybody is on board with it. Now the operators use it daily for anytime they need to grease a piece of equipment. If an issue is not currently there, they will create an issue in order to be able to clock onto and off of that. So that way we can really take every time that's spent on this, on a piece of equipment, and curtail that time to it, so we can really truly get accurate costs. That's the major thing that I need to see, is what is the cost of the equipment. And I think that the more that we put into it, the more that we're going to get out of it. And I think the easier it is going to be for us to have this information. And it's literally at our fingertips.